Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part 3. This is hopefully going to be a little short one before I go too much further. So we're going to just take our 2-point line. We've got a couple of our freehand tool. And remember I said I normally start at the top, but this time I'm starting at the bottom because I kind of want a square where there's going to be a road, and do like this, and then just cut it across, and that's going to be our road. And I said earlier that we're going to have to test these joints because you don't want to have to cut it out and then it doesn't, it burns away. So I'm going to show you in maybe a next video is how you could test these joints. And like I made a little arrow right there, but that's so easy to fix. Just take your nodes and move them around. And then I'm not going to take a lot of time, for the video because I'm just showing you how to do this, or I'm showing them how to do it. So here I'm starting back at the bridge, and you can see it's going to be a map. Nobody's going to drive on it. Nobody's going to critique it that much. And 11 by 14, you're not going to be able to tell too much. So we got one more to do, I think, right in here. And then we're going to, because we've got a lot of shapes that we created, we want to make sure they don't leak. And I'll show you that in just a second. And then I've got plenty of videos on how to, it bugs me when I get off the page and can't see because you're going to have a joint right there. But with the freehand tool, it's pretty cool, especially blown up like this. So I've got a little arrow right there. Just go and just delete that node and take this one and join it. Now I'm going to show you how to fix that and smooth it out here. One more I want to just go ahead and finish this little section. Maybe I'll go a little bit faster for you. I'm just taking the freehand tool, and when you see it close like that, you almost know you did a good job. Now, here's kind of a good little secret. We've got our nudge factor still set on 12. I'm going to grab the map. And I must have had a duplicate of that map because it's right there, and we can delete all that. Now I've got some islands that I drew, and you can see them, that they're not in hairline. So I'm going to grab them both and change them to a hairline. Evidently I wasn't drawing in a hairline earlier. So how do you find these leaks? How do you, all the little nodes that we put together, and right here I see a problem. We need to get these a little further apart. How do you do that? Well, your nudge factor is still set pretty high, and I would still put a rectangle around this. And matter of fact, we can always do that rectangle last. I'm going to make the rectangle a little bigger. I do not want this thing to leak outside of it and make the computer crash because it's trying to fill in the whole page. But I'm going to fill that in with, I'm going to use blue just because, see it on the video, bam. So it filled all those. And you want to make sure you get it all. See all these little parts that we just added? Now, you can, I'm so far up on my color scale, I've lost my no fill. No fill and right, and make sure it's a hairline. Now we can delete this one, because now that is all solid. It's not going to have any broken parts. Like when I did these parts right here, all the nodes are continuous. There's nothing, broken. It's going to work really well. Now, let's look at our map. See, the problem with the map is it's got some red roads, and I don't like that. So maybe for the video, we could turn our hairlines black and we can nudge them over. Now this is where you'd probably want to block your map again. Because if you don't lock it and you grab something, you want to grab what you're drawing on and not the map itself. So we've done pretty good. Now, this is what I would do before I go any further. Let's Control D and make a duplicate of our map. And I would take these little bridges, and that definitely needs to be further apart. Get the parallel dimension tool. I mean, that's only 4/100ths of an inch thick. I would do this. This is a copy. I would take my virtual segment delete key and delete this and delete that. Now you'll see what's going to happen when you can't grab, because it's grabbing the other parts of the map. Go to Object and break curve apart. Then you could grab just this, put this on a scrap piece of wood and cut that out. And you'll see how thin that is. If it's thin is cool if it doesn't burn it away. So I'm going to probably do that before I go any further. And also we need to nudge these back over. That's one thing good about the nudge distance, is it's going to put it right back where it was. So you need to look at lines like this. This is evidently a bridge and not a road. See, this is on the map. It's probably a stating of the number of the road. So you don't want that ellipse shape. Grab your smoothing tool. It's a little bit big, and just kind of smooth that out. Get your shape tool, put this kind of closer, grab those two nodes and bring them down, because you don't want that where it looks like it goes around a number. And then you could always take your shape tool and just move that over. And like I said many times, and then once you know that that 0.04 will work, this one, it doesn't matter. This one matters, because this is evidently a bridge, and then this is evidently a bridge, and this is an overpass where it goes over the water. And then all you have to do is start making your roads. And, you know, you don't have to put all the roads in there. You do have to put your name. You can't really put Charbet Harler in the water because you're going to paint it. You know, put Nagordra. you're going to have to get a good map and figure out where everything is. You could designate the cities with dots. That's what they're doing here. But this is Port Charlotte right there. So then what I do, I would take my 2-point line and I would draw a line, and I'm going to make it how thick. Double click on it, and I'm going to make it 3 points, scale with object, and kind of compare it to this highway. Not quite big enough. Let's make it 4 points. Not quite really thick enough yet. Let's make it 8 points. That might work. So what I'm going to do to draw that highway, I'm going to click on this with nothing selected. Graphic, 8 points. I'm going to really make it 7. You don't have to use the numbers they give you, 0.7, and do it in black. And now when you draw, you'll have a point. I put 0.7, should be 7. Now when you draw, let me back up with nothing selected. That's what's going to change your graphic line. I need to just put 7 points, black. Now when you draw with a line, it'll make it, that's a little irritating. I must have the point still in there. Take all that out, delete it, put put in 7 points. Now, there we go. So now you can draw in 7 points for a while. So I would do all your major roads, and we're going to be off the map, and you know, we got a bridge here, and we will just have to see. I'm going to take my freehand tool, and I'm just going to draw this road. I picked the 2-point line. And the roads are the same thing. They don't have to be perfect, and you can get them pretty close, because you can always critique them. You can always take your shape tool and use your handles to get it closer to that real shape of the road. Move that node over. So when you're first drawing it, you don't have to be perfect. You know, don't worry about the little things until you get into this stage. And you can use your handles, and you don't want that there, you want a straight line. So bring that. Now we need to go through there. So really that's not going to work, because we're probably going to have to use a thinner line if your test cut worked. So let's use a thinner line. Let's make it 4, because you're going to have to bring that engraved line through that bridge. Now get your freehand tool again and click on that dot. I picked the 2-point line again. And then you see I deleted the line. Get your freehand tool and kind of start on that line and just bring it down. And it'd be better to do all this line in one continuous line. This is where we're hitting the H, and you can move it around. But we need to zoom out a little bit, and then take your 2-point line. And like I said before, and we're going to have to go right through that bridge again. Now hit Z for zoom, and zoom in what we did. And you see we have 2 spots there. They're actually joined together, so that's not a bad thing, because we can just put it like that and move it over. You just want to make sure that goes through your cut lines. Roads are relatively easy. Once you've got your map figured out, you know, you can move nodes, you can move handles, and, you know, like I said, you know, it's not made by the Florida Public Safety. You're not going to drive off of it. It's just, it's a good, fun project. And you could always take your shape tool and just take that line and make it longer. But when you do that, you're just going to be a straight line. So then you'd have to go and add nodes. You can double click on the line and add a node, So I prefer actually drawing the lines. And then you just, before you would ever cut this out, you know, make sure that you are through that bridge and not going to be cutting that. That looks pretty good. Then the only thing you have to do is just put in a compass, and you don't want in the water. You might have to put it up in here somewhere. And just remember that we're going to cut this off anyway. You can run a compass in the water. You could actually make a compass with an outline and glue it in there and have it a different color. But anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. And then you're just going to need to make smaller lines and type in. That's what's so nice about having the map. You know, we're going to get we're going to type all in capitals and kind of size it to that size. I actually prefer a thin font over a thick font when you're engraving, especially on a map like this. And you can see that they're engraving over the roads. I don't like that. I would do this, you know, just make it quite a bit smaller and then designate your city, you know, with a, hold down the control button and make a perfect circle. Now I'm drawing it, if you notice I'm drawing in that thick line, I actually prefer to put this back to my hairline, and doesn't really matter, but I draw in hairline red. And then when I draw my lips, I'm drawing a circle, put it in the circle, and I'm gonna, this is pretty important, left click, right click. You do not want a cut line there because it will cut that out. So whenever you do that, make sure you do that. So let's look at it now and see what it looks at. We've got our nudge factor still set on. I've got my map lock, so let's go to, you don't even have to have it selected. I'm gonna get rid of these, those are with those extra part, and I'm gonna move it out of the way. And you also might wanna check, you know, after you draw that second road, you might be able to reposition Charlotte Harbor. But that's gonna be a pretty cool map. Need to figure out what's going on right there with that. Where is that at? Way up top. So that's a road marker that is in there that doesn't need to be there. So let's just take the shape tool, and remember we have it grouped together probably. Go to object. You need to probably sometimes select it. Let's get rid of these lines. Nope, it's not grouped together. I don't know why my shape tool is not working. Oh, I just didn't click on the line. So we don't want that. That was a, you know, that's one thing you just got to look at. So select all this, hit delete, select these two nodes, and right click your mouse and hit line. And this is not on land. You know what? I messed up the map somehow. That is a cut line that needs to go up. It actually cut out one of the roads earlier. So let's bring the map back over. Yep. The cut line made that road, and I don't want that. So just grab it. You know what? Just grab all this and hit delete, because it's getting, look, whenever you do that, you can just back up, delete all these nodes to here, then take this node and just bring it up to here. Now, if you want a straight map, take this node and bring it to here, and then select these two nodes, and right-click line, and look at that. Easily fixed. Now I see some other mistakes, you know, up in here, but that's easily fixed. You know, we weren't even looking at that part yet. So you need to go up here, and that might be a part you know, for the customer, you might want to cut off and make your map. If you're making for Charlotte Harbor, you know, you don't need all that stuff up there anyway. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.